What is up, you guys? My name is Sarah Lane McNew, and you are listening to the Made for More podcast. Today we have on one of my all-time favorite people. She is a sister in Christ, but also one of my dearest friends. You might know her also from the popular Netflix series, America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. And that's a really hard thing to say, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Reece Weaver.
Oh my gosh, Sarah Lane, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you on. We're throwing it back to the OG. Reece was on my very first podcast and was just there for me in the thick of figuring all that out and supported me and encouraged me and spoke so much life into it. And so I'm just so thankful for you and who you are. And the fact that you're sitting here today is just such a blessing from the Lord. And I'm so honored you're here.
Oh, he's so cool. I'm just so proud of you and what you do for the kingdom.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be your friend.
It's an honor to be your friend. And you know what better way to start off this episode than with a game. And not only just any game, but a how well do you know each other game. A true friendship test, if you will.
That's right. It'll be interesting.
And we have my DJ B is in the house on today's episode.
That's me.
So he'll be moderating our game, asking us some questions. And then when he asks it, I'll write down what I think your answer is, and you'll write down what you think my answer is, and then we'll show them when
Being
the timer
Sarah
ends.
Lane. I got that.
So I'm trying to be Reece, basically. Okay. And we got whiteboards. So, that makes it a little more professional, if you will.
All
We're ready
right.
for
This
you, baby.
is How Well Do You Know Each Other? You may also know it as the Newlywed Game. This is going to test your friendship in ways that you never thought possible. And who knows, maybe potentially this is our first walkout of the season. We will see. Are you two ready?
Oh, I think, after that intro, I think we're ready.
Because we're starting off hot with who is more likely to show up late. I will say, I know my answer for this. 3, 2, 1.
Sarah
Lane.
Beauty is pain, okay?
Oh, Sarah.
It's hard in these streets.
Ready?
It's just hard.
Ready.
How does the other person like to unwind? It's been a long day, they're tired. What is that person doing?
I feel like
5 seconds. And flip.
this is going to be funny. I just said bath and bed.
I said hanging with Will and Ruby.
That's sweet. Man, mine's not that sweet. I just said bath and
Bath
bed.
in bed is crazy because I can't remember last time I took a bath. But honestly, I love the bed part. That's really good.
Sarah Lane, I think, she just does so much on her day to day, and
That is true. I don't really have an unwind, and we're working on that. I really am working on that.
2026.
Yeah, that's like one of my goals is to actually rest.
Good.
But we haven't quite made it there yet, so bed and
So
bath.
maybe try a bath
Yeah, I'll try a bath.
and then cuddle in your bed.
Honestly, yeah, sounds pretty nice to me. Try that sometime. Okay.
All right, it's time to get personal. Ready?
Sure.
What is your favorite, what is the other person's favorite style of dance? No hints. I see you tapping your foot over there.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm gonna put 2.
Oh, I have to put 2.
Okay.
3,
2, 1, flip.
Lyrical and hip hop.
Jazz and contemporary. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, yes, that's right for me.
It just depends. It's what you need. Do you need a little razzle dazzle, be a little funky, and
Exactly. Or do we need a moment?
do we need a moment? I understand.
It's the same for you. Razzle dazzle, or do we need a moment? I love that. Okay.
Our next question is, what is the other person's biggest goal in life?
Biggest goal.
Kind of a big question, I know. But that's the name of the game. How well do you know each other?
Thank you for that. Okay.
In 3, 2, 1, and flip.
Aww. I said speaking
It's so
about
true.
Jesus.
And then making the kingdom bigger. Because
That's
that's
so
what you
sweet.
do.
That was a no-brainer right there for us. I feel like that was
So sweet.
easy.
This
Okay.
is our final question.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I
Ready.
think we're ready.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is the real test right here. What app does the other person spend the most time on?
Ooh.
Not looking good here in the studio.
I'm gonna
Is
go
this
with
like a
this one as
social
my
media
guess.
app?
Yeah.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1.
Insta.
I had
Yeah.
to feel it on that one. I
Insta.
feel like it's the plug. I don't know. I feel like
See,
it's the
it
one.
gives you a little bit of both. You look
Yeah.
at people's updates, and then you
Yeah.
also see like cute, trendy dog videos, and you're like,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
happy medium. You know?
Happy medium here on Instagram. Well, what a fun game of how well do you know each other? I
This
love
is fun.
kicking it
I
off
like
like that.
this.
Thank you, Bailey, for leading us in that.
Thanks for playing.
Okay, so today we're going to dive into all sorts of kind of stuff, just especially knowing us. But one thing I think would be just super awesome to kind of open up with is, you know, when God gives his children good gifts and that all good things are truly from God. And how we steward those on this side of eternity really does matter. And I know that we've had a lot of conversations about this and are pretty passionate about that. And so I think there's just a lot of girls, especially out there, that would just love to hear, especially from you and in being in the role that you've been placed in of knowing like, man, like I know the Lord laid this opportunity in my life. Now, how do I go do this? I've never done this before. There's no rule book of how this has been done because you know, the verse Esther 4:14 that we were made for such a time as this, and God doesn't make mistakes. And when he puts us in places and things ordained by him, you know, it's with such intention and purpose. And so kind of talk to us just kind of starting out of like, you know, you grew up a dancer. Dance has always been a passion of yours, but where the Lord's really shown you, especially in this season, that it truly is a gift for him and how you use it can really make an impact that you wouldn't have even thought about for yourself.
Yeah, I think so. My upbringing, I was so fortunate enough to be brought up in the church. My grandfather was our pastor at the church that we attended. And so really blessed that I had really great disciples and mentors, that people were just always pointing me to Jesus and reminding me that anything that you do has come from above and those gifts. And dance at a very young age, I fell in love with, and I knew that it was something I wanted to pursue and get better at, but also I found it to be this way to release emotions. And when you release something that's kind of been tugging on your heart, or you're experiencing something like behind closed doors and you need kind of an outlet to pour your heart out, dance was that for me. And it was an act of worship. And so from the very beginning, I just knew that dance was more than a gift. It was more that God gave me dance to, yes, sure, have it for myself, but also use it to bring glory to him and to inspire others. And just know that dance has been an outlet for me to bring glory and praise to him. And so that's a little bit of my upbringing, but it's so cool to look back on like my timeline and like trajectory of like how the Lord has just been in the details from the very beginning. But where I am today is just a testament of how good and how kind and just what an amazing Father we have.
Absolutely.
And I think where I am today, I look at just the platform that he's given me, and it's very easy just to think like, oh, this is my platform and I can grow, and how me, how can I do all this, when really like that was a gift in itself too. So from the beginning, dance was a gift, and now this platform, and it does have dance involved, which is such a blessing. But you know, I want to give it all to him and praise him. And I know I've seen time and time again how much he has used anything, anyone, every bit of who you are, and is going to use it for making the kingdom bigger. And that's what ultimately like I want to do with dance and this platform that I have.
Yeah. It's so cool to me because I remember the very first day I met you, we were at our Alabama dance team tryouts, and at that year we did one-on-one audition, so everyone had to do a solo. So it was kind of
Yes.
intimidating. And I remember I watched you do your solo, and I was like, that girl is a powerhouse. Like I remember we hadn't spoken yet, and I was like, she just had this like fierce look on her face, and she's like beautiful with her makeup, and she had a red mock neck top on, and
Ooh, I love that
I was
mock
like, I'm
neck.
a little intimidated. And so I went up to you and I was like, you are amazing. And you turned around and you're like, me? And like it was like so sweet and just like soft. And I was like, wait, I was not expecting that. And then obviously, like from then on, it was just like an
Aw.
instant connection, and we became so close in it. But it was just so cool because it's like, man, like that's just the awesome thing. Number one about dance is like it's this performance, like it's this ability to captivate, but it
Yeah.
also like, it's not you as a human. It's like we
No.
don't find our identity in that. But the way you use it, I mean, your work ethic, just your passion for it. I've always known like the Lord has very much blessed you in that way.
Mhm.
And another cool thing, I don't know if you remember this, but around that time, you had said to me, one of my biggest dreams is to become a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. That was like right when I met you, like right
Yeah.
around that time. And I was thinking, well, homegirl could most definitely be
Oh,
one.
you're
Like,
so
I was
sweet.
like, she probably will be one, but just the fact that was like, a comment made at the very beginning of our friendship. And then it's like, look what the Lord did. And to even go the next layer of that, when you made it, because the process was so like, you had to put in so much work, and
Yes.
you just don't know what's going to happen. And I remember when you made it, then they find out y'all are filming a show. Like,
Mhm.
like all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we're bringing the show back. And so I remember, at your wedding, we had to all sign NDAs because the show was going to be there. And so if you were in the bridal party, they were like, yeah, by the way, like
By the
you might want to
way.
have to sign this because you're going to be on camera. And, but a lot of people didn't know at the time
Yeah.
that all that was happening. And I remember, I will never forget it, signing that thinking, Lord, look at you go. Like out of anyone that I know in my life that deserves to have a voice and deserves to have that ability to go speak about you and impact girls, I was like, it's Reece Weaver.
Sarah,
It's Reece.
stop! I'm crying.
No, literally. And that as your friend was just such a testament to like God is faithful, number one, but also when we hand him our life in the reins, like he's able to do exceedingly and abundantly more. And not only did he let you make DCC, but he went and let you use his name for his glory. And like
Ugh.
the amount of lives you've already probably impacted that you just have no idea. It's like, that's the Lord,
Oh, all him.
I
I am this broken, don't know what I'm doing kind of gal, and he's like, I'm gonna use you still, and like that's just so cool. Like he's just so tender and so kind, and he is definitely he's like strap up, sissy, because you're about to be on this roller coaster.
Yep. Because
But
with
it's only
that,
him.
comes, it's like all the glitz and glam of the
Yeah.
excitement also comes with a lot of difficulty and a lot of behind the scenes things that I know people just wouldn't like think about or
Yeah.
see. But I think all that we were just saying too, of like when God does give you some things and you steward it well and you honor him in those ways and you do lay it down, you go, God, I don't know what you're gonna do with this, but I know you're gonna exceed my expectations if I
Yeah.
just hand you this. Watching you right now is a testament. Like I know you live your life that way, and you're genuine and authentic in that, and you truly trust him with your life. And so the fact that he's just doing so much through you, I'm like, yeah, like that's my girl. Like it should be that way because she be truly on fire for the Lord. So,
Thank you, Sterling.
but talk a little bit about how. So obviously, you go through this experience. And it was kind of like all of a sudden, like your life really did change.
Yeah, overnight.
And experiencing like, oh, what you did love about dance, like it's such a gift. Well, now you're kind of under these lights of like, well, now I'm kind of being watched and now I'm kind of,
Yeah.
talk about that adjustment, especially where like identity and worth came into play with like how that was with your walk with Christ.
Yeah, so I remember when the show came out, it was an overnight, like brand new reality. Will and I just got married 2 months before, and so we were trying to figure out like newlywed life and what that looked like. And 2 months later, both of our worlds. Like
Yeah.
we're just completely different, very exposed. And honestly, I had no idea how much really, I guess, screen time and visibility that our story even would have been
Mm.
revealed. And so that was just kind of like a big awakening, really. And so with that, I mean, I guess as a believer from the beginning, you know that your life is going to look a little different than others,
Mm.
and you are made to stand out in a way.
Mm.
Um, and so I already had that like at the forefront. Like that was something I was like, you know what? No matter where you are, you're there on purpose for a purpose, but you're doing it in like for him. And so that already looks a little different. And
Right.
so even just with being a DCC, like it was going to be a little different because my moral scope, everything was like aligned with his, and it was just a little different. And so when the show came out, the enemy was like, great. I can like really start to poke and prick because there's going to be so many lies and things I can twist and try for to knock her off her feet. And I remember that year being so tough with just trying to juggle life and what
Yeah.
it looked like, but also trying to stay rooted and grounded and like, okay, Lord, this is all you, but I don't know what I'm doing with this. Like, how can I steward this well and be all that you have called me to be with the new reality of my life?
Yeah.
And so I had obviously like Will was the biggest support system to always like humble me, but not in a way of like, oh girl, you need to like that crowd is getting too tight, but in a
Yeah.
way of like, hey, like from the very beginning, this is your why. Like make that the
Right.
forefront. I had a lot of great, I had a really great community that was surrounding me. They might not have understood what I was going through, but they were there, that were so tender and so kind to walk with me through this new just world that I was in. And so I think one, just having so many people that you're surrounded with that are going to pour into you and remind you that, you're why, obviously, but also just people that are going to say like, it is, you're here on purpose for a purpose, but your calling is way more than what you can do. Like it's solely him. And that has just the past 3 years have just been a testament to that statement.
Yeah. Well, and it's also been like the gradual like growth that you've also gotten too. I feel like it's been so neat to see how like you're right. Like you didn't have time to prep for this in a way. Like it just happened to you. Like it was like, what was it, June of 2024? Like that's when it like
2023,
right?
2024. It was 2024.
Yeah.
Because I had just finished my rookie year.
Yeah.
And June 2024 is when it
was
came
just
out.
like overnight. Like everyone was trying to know all your business. And
Yes, I was like, whoa,
wow.
you know more than I know myself.
Like that's truly in itself a crazy experience. And I think you just handled it with so much grace. And I know I remember when I came and stayed with y'all around that time, it wasn't like an anxious feeling, but it was definitely an overwhelm of like, Lord, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And so just to watch what he's done and that peace that is just like pouring out of you, it just shows that he has taken you by the hand. And because you're not trying to do it by yourself, he really has been the one orchestrating. And kind of alongside that, I know one thing we always talk about is like, truly when you're trying to live your life for the Lord, you're doing it for his way. We're not doing it for man's approval. Like it can be easy in life to subconsciously be seeking man's approval or maybe just flat out seeking it, and so I know that the term dancing for an audience of one, like that really resonates with, I think, a lot of dancers too. Like not when you get to a place where you're like, I don't want to be seeking all this outside validation, or even in the entertainment industry in general, you just want that conviction between you and the Lord of like, am I doing what you're calling me to do? Am I saying yes to the right things? Like, and so speak on a little bit of like where you've gotten like, just you felt like maybe misunderstood at times, or you've gotten some comments before that you're like, like if only you really knew like the depths of what this takes to be walking in this and where my head truly is. Because I know that can be a battle in the midst of all that as well.
Yeah. Kind of going back to like the very beginning, like, I'm so grateful for all the family, the mentors that have reminded me constantly of like, hey, whose you are and what you're doing is far greater than what you can only accomplish. And so I had that, but I don't know if I really started to understand and really have that statement of dancing for an audience of one be an anthem for my life until probably around high school. I remember I experienced a little bit of kind of some setback from a few instructors, and it really hurt me. And instead of like taking a side of wanting to kind of like get back at them, it was more of like, oh man, that hurt me. That is showing me I cannot put my worth in
Right.
an instructor's, their approval and seek them. And I mean, as dancers, you go out there and you're being judged if you're in competitive dance, or
Yep.
it's very subjective. So it's an opinionated art, and as dancers, we know that. But when you're surrounded by people that are constantly critiquing you and telling you what to do, it's a good thing. But then there's a trap, because then you can fall into, oh, I want to just get her approval or his approval.
Right.
And I remember I had a few instructors that just, said some things that I think were really lies from the enemy, and trying to not just come at me as a dancer, but as a human. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm not dancing for a group of people or an audience, a stadium of 80,000 people. I'm dancing solely for an audience of one, the one who gave me this gift. I mean, this is going to sound so cliche, but when you receive a gift, obviously you're so grateful and you're so thankful for it. And that's already a sign of gratitude. And that's essentially what dance is. If that's been given a gift and I've received it, I mean, I'm so grateful for it. So might as well give the praise and the gratitude back to him. So I think, I think that dance can be like anything. You can get trapped in that identity crisis or that idol. And that is so easy to do. But when you think about, hey, the bigger picture is that this was a gift you were given and you're doing it for an audience of one, the great I am.
Yep.
Your whole perspective changes.
Yep. It does. And that's why we're actually teaching a class tonight for those that are listening to. 100 kids. So there's 100 kids coming tonight.
Again, that's only God.
But it's just so cool, because it's like that's the Lord, and it's an opportunity for these kids to see that, like, man, like, it is so easy to place our worth in what we do or what we look like or what someone said about us or what we just assume is the trajectory of our life, when our true worth and our identity only comes from Christ and what his word says about his daughters. And so I think that's such a testament to, like, you could have a bunch of noise, but if you truly know who you are in Christ, then you're walking boldly and firmly of, like, you can take feedback, but you aren't doing anything based off man's approval. You're going, okay, Lord, do I have this conviction with you? Do I need to seek some outside counsel, people I trust? But outside of that, I have to trust that you've placed me here for such a time as this, and that my true worth is there in what you've called me to, not what the world says. So I think that's super good. Okay, you guys, now we are bringing on another special guest, Reese's bestie for real and husband. We've got Will in the house. Whoop, whoop.
Glad to be here.
I thought, what better way to bring y'all both on for another segment of this, because I just feel like there's so much going on in y'all's lives all together. And I was like, I just would love to hear from y'all at the same time too.
Yeah.
So kind of talk to us a little bit about, I mean, really from the last time I saw you, still so much is constantly changing in y'all's lives due to the amount of overnight switcheroo that happened all those years ago. So kind of just update me, honestly, on where y'all are at and where you really feel like you've seen God use this year specifically, kind of with the platform in y'all's marriage. Because, I mean, now we're at what, a year and a half married? Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit
Just
more
crazy.
than a half.
little bit more.
April will be
Yeah.
2 years, which is wild.
It's crazy.
2.
Wild.
Wow.
But we just talked about this. But yeah, Will and I are in a house, and
Yay.
that's so nice because we were in
We were
a one bed, one
bedroom
bath.
the last
Heyo.
time you came out there.
And I was like, I don't like having to schedule when we use the bathroom anymore. And I'm like, I gotta have some more space.
That's real.
And Will and I also wanted a dog, and so we now have Ruby, who is our little pride and joy. She can be a mess at times, but she's super fun and super sweet.
So
but
cute.
no, really kind of like because our first year marriage was just so crazy and it was just like this brand new reality for both of us, and we were trying to juggle marriage and like what that looked like, Will and I made it an effort to spend more intentional time with one another, because we were literally like crossing sailboats at night. With he would come home from work, I would leave to go to practice, and vice versa, and it was just like it's really draining, and we just got married, and that was like really, really hard on us. So yeah, we're being more intentional in our time together and just kind of figuring out like what our why is, instead of like obviously we have whys as individual people.
Yeah.
But I think going into this year now, we really want to just establish like who we are and like what we want to do, because two is better than one, and we want to do obviously more for the kingdom.
Yeah. Well, how's it been for you? You have also gotten your own TikTok army of followers for your cooking. How has that been? And does that actually stress you out? I really need to know that.
Doesn't really stress me out.
Okay,
no.
that's good.
It's fun.
Will's
It's
so nonchalant about TikToks, and I'm like, my editing. He's like, nah, just post.
See, I love
Yeah.
that about boys. They're just like, yeah, I'll just post it.
I think like the first like couple videos, I barely edited at all, and you could like see me going to press the button to stop
he's like-
recording, and I was like, just let her eat, and that's what we did. And
So good.
I've gotten a little bit better about it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
For those of you that don't know, Will can chef it up, and
No,
TikTok
he's
has found
so
that
good.
out. And so, yeah,
I'm so fortunate.
you are very fortunate.
So fortunate. I have to tell a funny story. The very first time Will started filming cooking, came home from practice, and I had recently got like a selfie light for like camera photo pictures like with my friends and stuff like that on game days. And I walk in and I turn in the kitchen. He has my tripod set up, his phone, and the light as bright as day could be, and he's filming himself cooking. And I'm like, I go, what are you doing? What's going on here? He's like, I just started to give this a try.
He's like, I need good lighting for my cooking videos.
That's
Reece,
right.
what do you mean?
That's right.
and the first one was like completely a joke. Like,
Oh.
like I said, like I'm Reece Weaver's husband, Reece Weaver's personal chef, and like it was completely satire, and it took off, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to
You're like,
it.
maybe this is my tagline now. This
I'm
is how I'm
already-
going to get people to watch the
Yeah,
videos.
I'm already cooking anyways. might
That's
as well
really
film
funny.
it. So it was
Wow.
fun.
He's
Well,
so
how
good.
has it been for y'all too, with the dynamic of, I'm sure there's like a level of like, you want to protect Reece too,
Oh,
because there's
absolutely.
like so much, just like, especially being the husband and caring about her the way you do. Like, what has that been like, trying to navigate, like kind of having the social media side to everything, but also wanting to make sure you have like, because you 1000% have Reece's best interest, to kind of trying to find that line of like, man, I like want her to be protected in all of this.
Mhm. So that kind of one appearance that she had, it was at a mall, and she went and
Oh,
like
it wasn't like DCC related. This was like
it was just
another opportunity.
yeah.
I had.
Reece opportunity, not DCC Reece. Because if it was DCC, they would have security
Yeah.
and everything through there. But it was like a Reece personal thing. She went to the mall, didn't know where this specific store was, and she's texting me. I'm at work, like full time at this point, and I was like, okay, I don't know, find a map.
Yeah.
But she like had people.
I just got that.
Had to find or had people come up to her and like want pictures and stuff, and in the midst of it, she's trying to find the store that she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
going
I got
to.
really. This sounds kind of like, oh, Reece, just look at the map. But it's one of our biggest malls in Dallas, and I'm by myself. There's just a lot of people, and I don't want to be late because this is like one of like my first opportunities too. So it's just like really overwhelming and stressful.
So at that point, like after that, I like went up to my bosses and I was like, hey, any other opportunities, I've got to be there.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like I've got to be there to protect her. And since then, I haven't really missed any. So that's been awesome.
And
But-
that's like such a blessing because like Will can
Absolutely.
now be with me with those, and we can kind of experience things together, and
Yep.
also like have a little bit more protection in a way. But no.
Well,
he's
that's neat
best.
because for those of you that don't know, I knew Will and Reese when they first started dating, and I'll actually never forget this. Reese said, "So there's this guy," and I was like, "Oh." Because Reese had never had a boy, like never dated anyone. And so I was like, you don't say. And she was like, yeah, we're going on a date, but it's not that. And I remember like Reese was very, like, we are talking like, this was like, you know, when you think of like first date, like we don't have any other source of like communication at this point
No.
other than like, this is a very proper, like, we're like, that's the type of like, you know. And she was like, I don't know, like I'm kind of nervous, like, you know, or whatever. And then obviously like kept going on dates with Will, and then we all met Will, and I was like, okay, this guy's goated. I was like, this guy eats, sleep, breathes, roll tide. I already know this is a good guy. But obviously just from the beginning you could just see like Will's character and just how much he loves the Lord and how much his life is surrendered to him. And then obviously how much he loved you was always just so evident. And so it's just really cool to know, like, y'all were just like, it was just like this like giggly little, like kind of, it almost felt like, you know, just like not magical, but just kind of like, it was just so sweet the whole time. And then obviously y'all got married. So it's so cool to know, like, we were just down in the depths of Tuscaloosa, just at, you know, the Roll Tide University. And then little did we know that y'all would be like sitting where y'all are now. And it's just so cool to know that like y'all are the same Reese and Will that I've known for 5 or 6 years, you know, and y'all truly love the Lord and truly have your life surrendered to him. And so it's just cool because I know that there are not many people that could be given a platform like this and do it with such grace and humility, but y'all are the exact same. And I just can't wait to see what the Lord keeps doing through you guys. And one thing I'd love to know, just kind of along the lines of what we were just talking about, is what has it been like facing, you know, all of these things and trying to do that together when really it's ultimately, you know, like you're kind of the one getting filmed and, you know, but then they're filming you too. And like, you know, it's really something that you're having to learn and navigate together. What has that been like when there's been times where like, you know, each other's hearts and maybe you've felt misunderstood by social media or things that are said to you? Like, how do you navigate knowing like, no, we know where our worth is? And yeah, what's y'all's experience been with that?
I think like from the very beginning, I mean, this is so sweet and just so intimate. Like obviously he knows my heart and like where I stand and, you know, the things that like maybe aggravate me, the things that make me worried or anxious or whatnot. And so that's been honestly a blessing once you find your best friend and you've kind of built that foundation of like really knowing the depths of that person. But Will from the beginning, like he knew that I had a lot of anxiety around this of how am I going to be portrayed? Like, is me sharing my testimony, is that going to be twisted? Like, it's in the hands of editors that I really don't know. Like, how is this going to be? And so I really dealt with a lot of anxiety that year before the show was out. And Will constantly reminded me of like, we're doing this together. Like when it does come out, we'll be married. And I think that has been so sweet because I could not have done this by myself. And I'm just so grateful that the Lord knew, hey, you're going to get married here.
Yep.
You're going to get married at this time in your lives, in both of your lives. And it's going to be good because you both need each other going into this next season of life and this new reality. And so there are times we don't have it together. Like, I mean, every day is a new journey and adventure, and we're just figuring out how to do this, how to navigate it well, and, you know, still make the kingdom bigger while we're figuring it all out. And so I think what's been such a cool thing to see is just the unity of marriage in itself, but really trying to figure out this new reality for both of our lives. I kind of just like
covered it all, but like we got married and 2 months later the show dropped. Well, before the show dropped, they were able to see a little bit of it, like the first 2 or 3 episodes. And like Reese came home and she kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And like that's the time where we're trying to like still figure things out. And I was like, how do I get in?
Yeah.
And like from there on, we've been able to like pick up tendencies and like if I know Reese is getting like overly anxious or if I'm getting upset, she's able to like catch it beforehand, and like we're able to talk it out before it gets to that point. And like seeing that so early in the relationship, like just dealing with each other every single day,
Has been helpful for the now.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback too, like I had to really work on myself first. Like there was a lot of just attacks. I felt like the enemy was just constantly like poking
Yeah.
at me during that whole nuance of life.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like deal with it. I didn't know how to like get out. And so this is like, you know, like I guess a little bit more personal, but I started therapy and sought out like a Christian counselor who would really just like pour into me with
Good.
no ties attached and just like hear me out and help me, you know, figure out, you know, getting to the root of it. And then also it opened my eyes to, okay, this is how I should communicate with Will when those things were to happen. And so all that being said, I think that having to be in the uncomfortable and trying to figure that out and trying to, I don't want to say hit rock bottom, but hit a point where like, okay, something has to change and we've got to figure ourselves out individually and how to communicate better. And I think that that has been such a game changer of when he needs me, I know how to communicate. And when I need him, he knows how to communicate.
That's really good.
And that goes with like the protection that we were talking about too. It's not just from people.
Right.
It's like spiritually and like mentally
Yes.
protecting. And like when the show dropped, the director or the producer told us that like, hey, there's going to be hate out there. And like when comments started throwing, I was ready to throw hands
Right.
and I couldn't.
But we can't do
Right.
that.
I was
Right.
like,
But we have
Yeah.
each other to like,
So nice.
okay, remember what's more important. Like that's just distraction,
Yep.
you know?
Well, I remember, I mean, just candidly, I remember seeing a comment one time on y'all's video. Someone said something like, how could you be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and be a Christian? And I was like, Lord, if they only knew. Like, you know, I'm like, because I know you so deeply, you know, and I wanted to throw hands and it was some random, probably bot account that wasn't even real. And I was like, but it is like what our culture does is it decides, you know, without knowing someone's heart or without, you know, understanding if it just decides you're wrong, you're wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, actually like, if I'm taking this to the Lord and I'm praying, would you show me and reveal to me what it is that you're calling me to, and I'm walking in obedience of that, I can't sit there and be affected by all these comments, right? And so I think y'all have done a beautiful job of that, and the Lord has gifted you of each other to be like, if something's said that's hurtful, the other person can be like, we're not giving that any fuel to the fire, like we're not letting that affect us. And so, because it's easier said than done, like to say it's not going to affect you, but I know that is a journey, and so what a gift that He's given y'all each other, and that y'all be able to grow in that. That's really cool. To kind of wrap us up, what would you say is like been the best part about this experience? Like being able to do it together. Like, what do you feel like you're like, me and Lord, like this has been really cool?
I think just how the last 3 years have, just how they've happened is just such a true testament to how cool our God is. And so to say that we get to witness that together and, you know, experience the hardships, but experience the beautiful, joyous, like blessings that He shows us, I think has just been one of the best parts. I mean, we've met so many incredible people. So many doors have opened, and it's only by the grace of God. And so I would say that that's probably one of the coolest, if not the coolest things that we've been able to experience. And two, I'll give like a little shout out to a few people, but I mean, we've had some really influential people who have been these powerhouse, like really amazing, like on fire for the kingdom people in our lives that I never thought I'd be able to meet. And they have willingly just poured, I mean, their hearts out to us and said, hey, we've been there. And if you need help and community and a person to talk to, I mean, they're just so selfless and so humble and kind enough to reach out. But I think that's what's been cool too, is like at the end of the day, we are all human beings, and no matter what platform given, like we're all trying to figure out life together. And I think we've seen that at a very, very new part of being married, and that's been a blessing.
Yeah.
I would say more of like the time that we get to spend with each other now. Obviously, meeting the people is great, but like before, we weren't getting to spend much time together at all.
Yeah.
And now we're like literally doing everything together.
That's
It's
fun.
awesome.
That
It
is
was like
awesome.
we got married and then
Peace
bye.
out.
Yeah.
See ya sometime
Yeah,
on the
no,
weekend
truly.
or something. And
I
now
remember that.
it's like we can like be passionate about the same things and experiment. Like, what is our next step? Like
Yep.
our family's next step of wanting to make an impact.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing about walking with God. It's like just when you like hit a place where you're like, okay, Lord, I feel like that this is all starting to kind of make sense or whatever. It's like a whole new chapter opens of like, wait, who am I? Like, you know, like who are you calling me to be? And so that is the awesome part of getting to walk in that together. Of like, you really can like start to even learn even deeper of like, what are you really calling me to, Lord? And what are you calling us to? So that's really cool. Well, obviously y'all know that like having you on was just, I'm just so honored that y'all came, and I love y'all more than you'll ever know. And
We love you more.
y'all are
than
just such a
anything.
blessing to me. And I think anyone that knows you would say the exact same. And so just keep making the kingdom
So sweet.
even more impacted by what you're doing and staying true to who you are, because y'all are making it better. So
You're the best. We
you're the
love you.
best.
This was such an honor to be a part of this. I know that the Lord is going to use it to reach so many people, all for His glory. And so this is just such an honor to be a part of this. So thank you for having us.
yeah, we're
Love
so
you.
love you. Well, you guys, if you got a pulse, you got a purpose. Remember that you were made for more. We'll see you guys next time.